Peace to the saints. We are back with another lecture. This one is on something that I actually prophesied, and now it has come to pass. I really wish it wasn't true, but when you're dealing with males who have low self-esteem and who exhibit the worst traits of the human female, of course, we're going to have these kinds of situations. And this is yet another opportunity for me to double down and remind you on why I always advise you guys against all the things that hurt you: the alcohol, the drugs, the caffeine, the sugar. We're going to go through not only the latest news on this individual who has overdosed, nearly taken himself out, but we'll consider how the media is treating this. And then we'll do a little bit of study, if you like, if you guys have time, on the things he said and done in the past so that we can understand him and his poisonous effect on global culture. He is not one who maybe is expanding his influence around the globe, but there are many like him, and they all must be done away with, for they are spreading corruption among the youth. As we go through, if you have any comments, questions, and you'd like to support the work with tithes or tuition, you can use the information at the bottom. We'll go as long as you decide based on your support. Here we go. So let's take a look at how the news initially covered it.
We're working to learn how controversial influencer Clavicular is doing. Last night, he was rushed to the hospital in Miami after a suspected overdose. And here's a really all this. It apparently happened during one of his live streams there in Brickell. This is video of the aftermath as he was being carried away for medical help. CBS News Miami's Bree Buckley.
And the other fellow that's always wearing an A shirt and a hat, if I recall correctly, someone pulled off his hat and that's all fake hair, right? Can someone in the chat confirm that that is the fact?
He's your reporter in Brickell this morning with what we know so far.
The influencer was on a live stream from a spot here in Brickell when this all happened. And we do know that Miami Fire responded to the corner of 9th Street and South Miami Avenue for a possible overdose of a 20-year-old. A source close to Clavicular tells CBS News he's suspected to have had an overdose. This is the video of his live stream last night, which is what was concerning to.
And you know, when I look at this fellow with this false smile while he's suffering on the inside, it really reminds me of sorority girls in university who fill themselves up with toxins as they have a good time. It's really an unfortunate thing.
Some of his hundreds of thousands of followers, many said he seemed out of it. And the other men in the video with him looked concerned, and the video abruptly ended.
And this is the problem when you have people around you that are either low self-esteem or low IQ. You mix those two together, it's a dangerous cocktail. So the primitive one next to him, this Neanderthal, is just sitting there smiling and laughing, looking between this Braden fellow and the camera, not knowing what to do. And that's because he lacks masculinity. Masculinity and testosterone are things that will allow you to be aggressive and to assert leadership and to know what to do in the most challenging of situations. In fact, that is precisely what masculinity is called for. That's when masculinity is most needed. And because it was absent, you had him actually acting like a broad. In clips that I've seen, this Neanderthal was saying to the young man Braden, as he was essentially losing his life force, he was saying, You want some Addies? You want some Addies? You want some Addies? Like, bruh, I think the man's had enough substance. But this is what happens. And so often you look at the athlete, you look at the entertainer, the celebrity, the influencer, the actor, thinking that they exist, that they have personalities and they have beliefs, when really one of those identities goes by the title actor, yet they're all pretenders. None of them are real. Yes, they're all holding up an image that is, in most cases, too heavy, and eventually the mask will fall away and we will see what they really are. The young man is merely a low self-esteem degenerate who hates himself. It's that simple. And that's why I have a 3-sentence Bible. Number 1, be yourself. Number 2, be good to yourself. Number 3, be good to good people. Number 1, be yourself. And being yourself, you don't get surgeries. Be good to yourself. You don't poison the self with drugs. Be good to good people. You don't sit there asking your buddy, you want an Addy? You want an Addy? Which, is that a controlled substance? Is that a prescription substance? someone let me know. These are thugs, criminals, and degenerates, and they should certainly be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And if they are not prosecuted, then that lets us know things we perhaps already suspected about the United States, that all of the institutions and law and order is a farce.
I want to talk more about his reach and why he's so influential to a specific group of young men. Clavicular, whose real name is Braden Peters, is known for a popular trend called LooksMaxing, where he tries to maximize attractiveness in extreme ways. We don't know what caused this overdose, but he has been open about drug use, specifically using meth to lose weight. He has been in hot water before. He was arrested last month in Fort Lauderdale for a battery charge. He was also arrested in Scottsdale, Arizona earlier this year for suspicion of drug possession.
Okay, so we got a guy who's getting arrested more than Tupac. No one's called him a thug. There's been no negative adjectives used. It's completely objective reporting all of a sudden. He has cases for assault, cases for drug possession, and now he has a situation in which he was hospitalized for nearly taking himself out. Yet the reporting is so down the middle objective. Very rare you see the news media being objective and doing their job as journalists. I'd be curious as to why he's getting this fairness, especially after he's done so much to become a polarizing figure, not for the purpose of putting forward a meaningful ideology or philosophy or political perspective, but merely to stir up commotion and maybe for the purpose of profit, but for nothing meaningful, no value add to society. Very curious.
Again, the details in this story are limited. We are working to learn more. Stick with us.
And I don't know who hired that newscaster. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm just going to leave that right there. When your only job is to read off of a teleprompter, me personally, I wouldn't have hired that particular woman. That's just me, though.
This is the video that's going viral. I'm going to show you the extended cut because what we eventually see is him kind of freaking out inside this club. It appears to be his nightclub. But what happens is he basically says, I'm B-maxing. And according to some people, he ends up taking this bizarre new drug that's apparently it converts to GHB in your body and he completely loses it. I'm going to show you the whole.
So I don't know what B-maxing is. I don't keep up with the new terminology created by internet nerds. So no clue what B-maxing is.
Thing, and I'm going to react to it as we go.
Quite awkward, everyone just standing around this little fella. Shout out to Jefferson writes, you never cease to amaze me, Mr. Burton. Thank you for the way you read that Pakistani girl without seeing her face was masterful. My jaw dropped when you mentioned her sister because I'm also familiar with this archetype, Peace of the Saints. Peace of the Saints indeed, and I appreciate you. He came in supporting a separate stream. I also acknowledge Michael, the very first person supporting this stream, the one and only. He writes, Michael, he writes, Peace of the Saints, just paying what I owe. I appreciate you. And shout out to those of you who stand up, make their name known. As we say within this culture, show love to those who show love to you. And also acknowledge Dominic. He writes, he should have soaked up some sass and water. Peace of the Saints. Listen, little buddy, unfortunately, is beyond repair. And this is the truth that very few people want to hear or acknowledge. There is a such thing as a broken human. Most of them won't be fixed. The best thing we can do is insulate and protect ourselves from these kinds of influences. These individuals are phenomenally dangerous. And what's worse than this individual being dangerous to himself and to others is the fact that he can televise and promote and propagate his sickness to the multitude, especially young people who themselves are finding their identity and they're following after a man who knows not where he's going. Thank you to the two folks supporting this stream. I appreciate you.
Wait, it's I've got the. So here's the start of it, and then when this ends, I'll play the next part.
At the B-max. Give me a second.
I don't know who Buddy is on the right side, but I'm gonna say he wasn't the cool kid in school. Bro looks like a. Listen, I keep getting flagged on YouTube, so I can't really speak out candidly. But if you guys are currently watching on YouTube, I encourage you to watch on Twitch. I'll put the Twitch link at the bottom. YouTube censors me. Apparently, you're not allowed to make jokes about people's appearance. Apparently, I thought we're all adults here. I don't see why that's such an issue.
Oh my God.
So he drinks that stuff, right? And then we see what happens next because there's a bunch of different clips that are in the wrong order. But this is what happens next.
Is there a trash can around here? I'm 5. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Sorry. I'm trying my best to lock in. I'm a little destroyed right now.
Okay, so he's clearly a dope fiend, and right now he's slurring his speech, just like any crackhead you might meet outside of a liquor store. And I think what is challenging to a lot of people is his appearance is in line with what the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant promotes as being an ideal at some level, but in actual fact, he is no more than a junkie. And so I think people are having trouble acknowledging that he's a 20-year-old young man who could be in his prime, but he's merely a junkie. And we see him displaying that right here, talking to this young lady who herself is wearing a brown pleather jacket in Miami, mind you. Number one, in general, why would anybody wear pleather? And number two, it's quite humid. I know because I'm just steps away from where this is being shot. It's just completely unnecessary. But hey, you know, not everyone receives IQ.
I'm from Brazil.
Brazil.
I'm Brazil.
She's Lynn.
I'm speaking English so. But what's your question?
You speak Portuguese?
Yeah.
Portuguese.
Holy shit, dude. I'm trying my best, but fucking destroyed right now. All right, have a good rest of your day. Take care.
Oh, thank you.
Holy fuck. Oh my.
Very vulgar and unrefined are these ones. You see, and as I've mentioned before, what social media has done is it's allowed the lowest class of people to promote their life ways, their language, their speech culture. And so you hear this guy, all he knows is the F word. It's really unfortunate.
My God.
You're Brazilian, bro. That was all you.
Yeah,
That was all you, Brazilian.
Who?
That was 10 out of 10. Stacy, Brazilian.
Okay.
You should get her number.
Any water? Probably.
Get her number. Get her number.
He looks white as a ghost, man. He looks pale.
Well, he is in fact a white person, so I'm not going to mark him off for that. But the other fellow, they have that prepubescent middle school energy. Oh man, she was Brazilian, bro. Go get her number, man. Go get her number. Brody, if you were a real super player in the moment, you would have known how to operate. If you were a real boss, while he was talking to her, when you saw that he gave her the hug and the situation was about to end, if you were a super player, you say, oh, hey, hold on. Don't you want to grab her number? You facilitate it. You did? Yeah, throw the oop for him. But you're a dweeb and you think slowly.
Pale as hell. Look at Androgenich, whatever his name is. He got some color. He looking like a ghost.
Okay.
You should get her number.
Any water? Probably.
He keeps repeating, you should get her number. You should get her number.
Get her number. Get her number. Get her number. Hold it down.
Holy fuck. What's up, man? How are you?
This man just cursing back to back to back. And, you know, there has been declining IQ in the West, and this is an example of it. But the idea that anyone would follow such a person lets us know that society is in decline. You know, if you have children, sending them to public school to be around these types is probably quite a dangerous thing.
This is it, man. Holy fuck. What's it say? 100%. Get to know pussy.
Dude, I'm trying to cold approach like you.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Shout out to the groupies.
Go, bro.
Nice to meet you. How are you, man? What's up, brother?
See, I'm trying to, as you guys know, lived in Las Vegas for 5-6 years, and I was always on the scene. You know, floor seats at the boxing match, box seats at the hockey match, everywhere you'd want to be in Vegas, I was there. Of all of the very famous people that I met, there was only one person I asked for a photo with, which was Tyson Fury, because I absolutely love the fight game. But hey, I guess you like what you like. I guess you like what you like.
Bro, I appreciate
Oh my God. All right, take care, bro.
Nice to meet you.
Can you take it?
Did I take it?
Shout out to Brody. He got the floozies on deck. I'm going to give him that.
Sorry, I can't even. I'm absolutely gone. Holy fuck.
Now, the sad thing is that the quality of these people is such that they want to take a picture with a drug addict while he is high on drugs. That just lets you know, like, boy, things are getting low. Oh, they're getting low. They want to take a picture with a drug addict while he is high on drugs. And the weird thing, too, is that it's almost like these people are so plastic that they're not even acknowledging that he's burning down. You know, that's what saddens me about the young man, and maybe jail would do a little bit of good for him, is that he clearly doesn't have anyone around him to like grab his face and say, son, you're screwing up. And when I say screwing up, I'm not talking about sacrificing what you could be in the public sphere. I'm not talking about missing out on money that you could earn. I'm talking about on life itself. You're screwing up on life itself. And it's really sad because this young man is burning down before our eyes. And you have all of these degenerates around him. And what is happening is they're blind to it. He's screaming out and they're just, do. Can I get a picture? While this kid is suffering. And the weird thing is he's even verbalizing that he's suffering. And no one has an ear to his begging.
Oh shit. Thank
Holy
you.
Shit. Take care. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm having a great time right now. Oh my God. Holy shit. Let me go sit somewhere. What's up, guys? Where's somewhere I can sit down for a second? Oh yeah, upstairs. Oh my God. Oh fuck.
Honestly, this makes me sad, man.
Oh my God, man. Holy fuck.
This boy knows no other words other than the F word.
Holy fuck. Yeah, I'm having a good time. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I'm having a good time.
Oh my God, yeah. No, I'm having a good time. Holy fuck. Yeah, let me go sit somewhere. Holy fuck. Let's go sit down right here. Oh yeah? Oh my God.
Let me see the show where he entered into.
Holy fuck. Yeah, let me go sit somewhere.
Curious. Anyways, let me go ahead and take a pause for the cause, acknowledge some of the people supporting the work. May I acknowledge via Venmo, shout out to Andre. He writes, tuition, Peace of Saints, very second person coming in supporting. I appreciate you. Shout out to Charles, aka Thule, writes, Peace of Saints, tuition. I had the pleasure of meeting him at the most recent Sasson, Florida workout. And I also acknowledge Willie. He writes, Peace of Saints, tuition for the good work. I appreciate you. And I also acknowledge Craig. He writes, good work as a father whose son has benefited from your work. Thanks for keeping it real for the young men looking to do it the right way. I appreciate you. Shout out to Craig. Shout out to all of the families who watch me. You know, there's daughters, mothers, fathers, grandmothers, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to Michael. Came in via Venmo. He writes, as a 32-year-old black male, this topic isn't really for me, so I may leave the stream early, but you are the truth. I'm glad I found your page. You have a lot of knowledge to offer, and I hope to meet you in person one day. Peace to the saints. Peace to the saints. I trust that you will. I'm often outside, and if you're a member within this thing of ours, we always have workouts consistently in every section throughout the world, and when I travel, I always make sure that I drop in to meet everyone, shake their hand, have a good time. Sometimes we have a meal, so I look forward to the time. Now, so acknowledge Anthony. He writes, peace to the saints, appreciate your time. Thank you very much, Anthony. I appreciate you. And shout out to via Stripe, Mr. Chima and Mr. Brian and Mr. Jenkins supporting the work via the Stripe link. I appreciate you. Carrying on.
Holy fuck. Let's go sit down right here. Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Fucked up. Dude, I'm gone.
And this fellow with the nose, I forget his name. So Gonzo's sitting here staring at Clavicular, and he's not sure what to do. But there is no doubt that he is the male equivalent of a female bimbo. And there's just not much going on inside this fellow's mind. And you can tell, you know, there's a certain look to people who don't quite have it together. And so he's looking at him, and his brain is bouncing around his skull, and he seems to be thinking, what do I do? Do I feed him more drugs? Oh, I want to be a good friend. I want to look cool on stream. Do I feed him more drugs, maybe? Maybe that'll solve it. He's high. Maybe I get him higher.
Ice water.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, that was really shit. Holy fuck. Holy.
And I don't know why Buddy in the tank top and the dude with the wig, I think they both probably have on wigs, but I don't know why they're so close. They're like arm to arm. I don't know if that's quite necessary, my boy. Shout out to Dominic writes, Peace of the Saints came in supporting the work via PayPal. Appreciate you. Peace of the Saints around the world. And this is girl stuff right here. All of this mouth open, constant laughter. No one said a joke. Nothing's funny. In fact, things are tragic. Opposite of funny, things are tragic. And Goofy here. No. It's like, buddy, what are you laughing at? Bro is like a little young lady here. He better not go to jail. He smiles too much. Oh, he better not go to jail. Also looks like his face is a bit crooked. Oh no, not the LooksMaxers having the crooked faces. Sheesh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, he better not go to jail.
How do you feel?
How do you feel? I know you said 30 times that you feel terrible, but how do you feel? And why didn't Brody have any thotties? I almost forgot about Lil Buddy when the chicks were walking up to take photos with Clavicular. None of the thotties like walked up to take pictures with Buddy, and they're in the same vertical, if you will. Now, me, I'm not in a thotty vertical. Maybe I'll get into one. Maybe I'll try to get into one. I'm in more of an intellectual vertical, lecture-based. Real thinkers follow, people who are mature and developed. This guy, the guy in the tank top, he's supposed to be in the vertical that with the thotties, lifestyle content. Hey, I look cool. I'm on a yacht type content. Bro got no females. Good Lord. That's an L.
See that? You want natty? You want natty? You want an natty?
2 times offering it.
Jeremy keeps asking if he wants an Addy. The Addy is the last thing that he needs right now, man. So there's a post going up, Clav death mega thread as he died, want an Addy. Like, people actually think he might have passed away. Now, what's interesting is the drug that he apparently took is called BDO. It says people are speculating the drug he took is called BDO. It's very potent and converts to GHB in the body, causing euphoria, sedation, and severe risks, including coma, respiratory depression, addiction, and death. Prayers up for Clav. And they're saying it's confirmed of an overdose. And there's reports that actually the police were called to the reports of an overdose and actually pulled up there. And there's actually audio of that going around right now.
And I want you all to know that the kind of character, as is mentioned here, that offers you drugs while you're dying, these are not the people you want around yourself. That's why our 3-sentence Bible, 3-sentence Torah, 3-sentence Quran, be yourself, be good to yourself, be good to good people. Well, the key is to have good people around you. This is not a good person, not to suggest that this Braden kid is a good person. He's clearly not. He's an addict and a degenerate who needs to be locked up. But certainly his buddy is, birds of a feather. One guy's ODing, the other guy's trying to give him more drugs. I mean, those two are a match made in heaven.
Trying to respond, 20-year-old male overdose, 900 South Miami Avenue, 900 South Miami Avenue, rescue 16, trying to respond, 20-year-old male overdose, 900 South Miami Avenue, 2045.
So apparently right now, Clav is...
Look at little brain there right here. He writes, this guy genuinely changed my life for the better. I'll never understand the hate he gets. Bro, what was going on in your life that somebody who said, oh, you want to look better? Punch yourself in the face, bones maxing. I don't know how that's life-changing. That might just be me, though. I need people to start giving examples when they say someone's changed their life for the better. Lil Buddy is still weird, though, because he has no photo and his name is Slushy online. Come on.
Receiving medical attention. Yeah, it's really, really scary, man. So apparently this is footage of the emergency responders pulling up.
Boy, Clav overdose on stream.
So, yeah, a lot of people are worried, that he's passed away. People are saying that Dylan...
Now, one thing that's important to understand, and this is why I always stay grounded, is that this whole fame thing, notoriety or clout, what have you, most of the people, especially if you're in their vertical, mine is a little bit more of serious people, but if you're in their vertical, which is, hey, I'm on a yacht, look at me, I'm cool, where their whole content offering is kind of like a perpetual rap music video. These people are very fickle. They don't, of course, they don't love you, but they may say, oh, you know, my heart goes out. We're so sad. We care. Listen, the guy literally right next to him didn't care. Talking about, you want another Addy? You want an Addy? The dude right next to him didn't care. You, fan, you certainly don't care. And they're even tricking themselves, the fans, because if he were to overdose and pass away within 1 week, he will be completely irrelevant. Like, for example, how many of you guys today thought about Charlie Kirk? Nobody. How many people mentioned Charlie Kirk? Nobody. How many new videos came out about Charlie Kirk today? None. Zero. And his murderer has not even been brought to justice, and people already have forgotten about Charlie Kirk. He's irrelevant now. No one's sad. No one's depressed. No one cares. No one's following up on the court case. We don't know who's actually guilty. No one's concerned that the bullet can't be matched to the firearm. You see my point?
Kid was just on live filming him and his crew going to the hospital that Clav is at, and he met with Andro and the other dude who was with him outside the hospital and then decided to end stream. Some people are speculating that he'd actually overdosed on meth. This is going around. People are saying he OD'd on meth. He had to end his stream. People are saying he was meth maxing. Get this man an Addy. But other people are pointing out it wasn't meth. He drank.
Get this man an Addy. I'm like, do I need a t-shirt? You want an Addy? You want an Addy? I think we'll have it as like a dialogue. You want an Addy? And then the next line says silence. And then you want an Addy? Oh, goodness. What a sick world we live in. Shout out to Roderick, comes in by PayPal. He writes, peace of the saints. Is it by design that these types of scoundrels reach the top of the algorithm? I don't know, but I am very suspicious. There's no doubt he probably invested some money into it. I don't know what kind of family the young man comes from. Certainly one that's dysfunctional. Doesn't mean it's a poor family economically, but no doubt dysfunctional. But a part of what gets things to the top of the algorithm is you representing the degeneracy of the masses, which are increasingly very downtrodden. For example, think of it this way. Most people drink alcohol. I tell you, don't drink alcohol. That's not going to go to the top of the algorithm, although it would benefit society if it did. So only in an upright society, maybe in Iran, maybe in China, maybe in Russia, maybe in Saudi Arabia, maybe that would be pushed to the top because it would give a positive influence to the young people, the children, and the women. But in a society such as this, in the hells of North America, where we know no Jesus, we know none of the prophets of the word, we only know Kim Kardashian, Sexy Red, and all of these degenerates. Yes, it appears to be some sort of a plan to have us all burning down.
A whole bottle of GHB 30 minutes before this. You're only supposed to take small shots in the bottle cap. And they're saying
you know, bro got some real junky followers. They're over here like, listen, man, if you're gonna bang a needle, you gotta slap your veins first. You don't just bang a needle all willy-nilly. Like, goodness Lord, you have people advising on how to properly take illicit drugs.
Drank a whole bottle. It's really, really scary, especially with his body weight and all the other drugs that he's on. This could be really dangerous.
That was crazy. Bro said it's really scary, him taking these drugs, especially with all the other drugs that he's on. Good Lord.
Other people are asking what he actually OD'd on. They're saying it was apparently a GHB pro drug supplied by Wando in that bottle. Other people are saying, I saw some people say he was mixing it with opioids. If that's true, that is not good. He says if you're referring to when he talks about blue, he's talking about meth. And these two dudes are always talking about taking blue, aka meth, as a stimulant to get more energy for the stream. Some people are saying, I was watching the stream earlier and Clav said that they were blue maxed and B maxed.
And this is what I want you guys to really understand, that this is a death cult, these people. Imagine being 20 years old and you have to take drugs to feel energy. You're in what should be a part of your prime. You're taking drugs to lift you up, to give you spirit. How hollow do you have to be? How dark must your soul be, where you have to use something to give you the energy that youth is supposed to provide? And also, you should ask yourself, how hard is doing a stream anyways? All you're doing is talking. It's some of the most illegitimate, simple, easy work on earth. It really is. You're not a plumber, an electrician. You're not a construction worker. You're not doing the difficult things in this society. You're not a fireman. You're not a public school teacher. You get on front of a stream and pretend to be better than you are for hours on end. I suppose pretending has to use some level of energy, but probably not as much as a real job. I mean, we got to be, word?
Blue refers to meth. I don't know what the B-maxing is, but I've heard them mention B-maxing a few times. I never knew what it meant. Based on what other people are saying now, it could be a drug called BDO, similar to GHB. So potentially a meth and BDO combination. People are speculating if he's dead already. People are saying, is it confirmed? And they're saying GHB overdose can be fatal for sure, but the emergency service records indicate he was treated, but not that he died. So thankfully, it's not sounding like he's passed away. So this is apparently footage that's just going around on Twitter right now. They're saying that Clavicular was actually spotted being carried into an ambulance by his security team, and the situation's not looking good.
Oh, crap. The goofy broad said something so silly, it made me click the wrong damn thing. She's like, oh my God. I think that's what hell is. I think hell is not a place with fire. Hell is a place where you have a bunch of dumb broads like overreacting to things constantly. Oh my God. Broad is probably an atheist. Oh my God. It's like it's all their silly small minds can process. Oh my God. Oh my God. Which is crazy because as soon as bro gets in the ambulance and takes off, she's gonna be like, all right, shots. You know, it's like, please stop it. These people are, what do they call them? NPCs for you video gamers? Is that what you guys call them? Shout out to Albatar supporting the work using the Stripe link. I appreciate you. May I also acknowledge via Venmo. Michael writes, yes, sir. I am Assassin member. I'm located in Cincinnati. Not sure if there are, you should tap in with the Chicago section. That's the Midwest section. Khalil is the executive over there. Very good brother, honorable young man. I've had the pleasure of meeting on many occasions. So yes, indeed. He writes, not sure if there are a lot of members out here. Tap in Chicago. But if I have to come to ATL or where most of the Assassin members are, I'll do that if I must. Oh, we got sections all over. And I'm everywhere like air and every place like space. You dig? Shout out to Mr. Thompson, comes in by PayPal, writes, for the stream, I appreciate you. Shout out to Ramon, writes, it's always been bizarre how drug users in the nightlife are seen as cool. The nightlife itself is brain dead, though. And I understand when you're a young man, there's definitely a drive to go out and be seen and to see what's going on and to meet chicks and, be like, use that energy that you have. I get it, especially if you don't have a goal and you haven't been nourished mentally and you're not on a track. You don't have anywhere to dedicate your energy, so you engage it socially and with leisure. I understand that. But I recall, and this is not to say I didn't go out as a young man, even though I have never drank or used drugs, but I recall always being there and at some level being outside of the experience. I'm looking around, say you're in the club, and I'm looking around and I'm just like, okay, so there's music. It's very loud. It's hurting my ears, in fact. Nobody's dancing, music blasting, nobody's dancing, but the music's too loud to talk. So all you can do is yell into your friend's eardrum. Hey, do you want to go over there? Hey, I just saw two big booty girls. You want one? You just could yell into the homie's ear, blow his eardrum out if the music hasn't already. And you see people getting drunk, spending more money than they really have in their discretionary budget. Maybe you might be in a section and there's some chicks you don't know who come by to drink your booze for free and then leave without getting smashed. I just don't understand the whole play. I'm in there like, so what's the logical outcome here? What's the play, my boy? We running plays in here? Like, what's going on? Seems like we're all together getting finessed. It's just completely low IQ activity. It's for people who have no accomplishments in life. They have no meaningful goals. They have no self-esteem. And so they'd like to pose up and try to get the other imbeciles to stare at them so that they can feel cool and feel inflated for a moment in time. Completely brainless behavior, much of nightlife.
Oh, God. He looks like he's awake at least.
Oh, really?
Everyone's
You know, bro took him some serious dope to the point where you can't even walk out. Like you have to have strong grown men grip up your little body and carry you out. Like, nah, hell nah. I feel like I would have had to be twisted something vicious to let niggas carry me out like I'm a broad. I'd have been like, I know I'm drunk, but I ain't that drunk. Hold on. Let me put my arm around you. I'm gonna walk out. Now I walked in, I'm gonna walk out. Yeah, I'd rather try to stumble up out of there. I ain't gonna have niggas hold me horizontally. You hear me? Nah, shit. Nah, I ain't about to have niggas hold me like they about to toss me up in the back of the feds. Absolutely not. Couldn't go out like there. It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be right. Carrying on. This broad is so brainless, repeating the same thing. I got
So he can barely stand it. Weirdly, they're putting him back into his own car rather than the ambulance, which I think is a little bit weird. Maybe they checked him out in there. So look, man, this is really bad, and it's not the first time Clavicular has been incapacitated on stream. Now, this was a moment that happened a little while ago when he was actually choked out on purpose.
Wait, what? What are these kids up to nowadays?
On a stream, and he passed out and had a seizure, and he looked really unwell, to be honest with you.
Wait, he passed out and had a seizure? Clavicular just passed out and started convulsing after getting choked out. Bruh, listen, I've heard that these young balls will do anything for the fame. I heard they'll do anything for the clicks, but goddamn, there should be a level to, like, a limit. No, nobody's just gonna go the whole way. Goddamn, Brody got yoked out and started twitching like a smoker.
You actually looked really, really messed up. It looked like his body was really just struggling with.
Bro over there doing the jitterbug.
Some people are saying it's faking it.
That looks super fake. I'm not gonna lie to you. That convulsing, that looked very fake.
I'm here. Turn to the side. Turn to the side. I'm here.
So look, this is really bad, man, and his health is just no expected overdose.
Now, how crazy is it to be 20 years old? 20 years old, people talking about his health is not good. Word? Good Lord. That sounds terrible.
I did see some people on Twitter saying that actually he might have already made it to the hospital. And basically just, you know, I don't want him to go out like he's not somebody who you should be emulating, who you should be copying. I'm not stuff it is going to catch up with Clavicular soon, or you can't want him to go out. No more details at this stage. So
okay, so it seems like the young man, and I'm curious to hear what other folks on the internet have to say in terms of guidance and critique about this young man. So I'm actually going to listen to what this fellow has to say.
This is all we know right now, okay? But look, I prayers up for Cloud. I don't want him to be hurt. I don't want him to go out like that. But it just goes to show this fast life that he's been living, man. It does catch up with you. You can't be drinking you can't be B-maxing on stream, doing meth, doing blue, all of this stuff at the same time. It's going to catch up with you, man. And I did say in a previous video that all of this stuff is going to catch up with Clavicular soon. His time is limited. And this is just really sad to see. So just goes to show you, man, this is no way to live. He's not somebody who you should be emulating, who you should be copying. I'm not going to lie, in that footage the other day where we saw of him storming out of the interview with the guy from 60 Minutes, he looked like he wasn't in his right mind. It was in this clip where he looked strung out.
Do you identify with that group? How do you feel about being linked to that group of people?
Do I identify as an incel? I mean, how
Yo, he has, bro, like, incel means involuntary celibate, right? So that means you get no vagina. So did he just look bro in his eye like, hey, you don't get no muck, huh? You don't get no muck. Do you admit you get no muck? Do you admit you get no muck? That was wild. I can't hate him for storming out of that interview. So disrespectful.
Ask me that question as a follow-up after you asked me about my relationships to women. I mean, that's quite literally the worst sequence of questions I think I've ever heard.
Let me rephrase it then.
And the other thing too is there's so many beta males on the planet Earth. I don't know why the interviewer is acting like he's not talking to a 20-year-old kid. It's like, what's happening? Like, you're a grown man. You're talking to a 20-year-old kid. Why are you acting so servile?
Maxing was obviously a term created by the incel community. How do you feel about being linked to that group?
I'm not linked to that group in any way. LooksMaxing is self-improvement, right? So it's
nah, bro. LooksMaxing is actually the antithesis of self-improvement. No, self-improvement is that which benefits the inside of you. LooksMaxing is the hyper focus on that which is surface, on that which is superficial. So I would say these are actually opposing concepts. The LooksMaxer wants to look strong without actually being strong. And there are even examples we can go through. I do have some videos queued up. If you guys support the work and you want to go through it, I'd be happy to go through and kind of enumerate some of the places where the young man has gone awry, not for the purpose of deriding him. I mean, hell, he's in the hospital. He has enough problems, but really for the purpose of clarifying where the errors are such that they aren't repeated, especially by the young people.
About potentially even ascending out of that category. And so that would be kind of one of the goals, is to disassociate from being an incel and overcome that. So that doesn't make sense.
No, actually, that did make sense. No, it for sure made sense. Let's see if this guy pushes back.
You also maintain, well, you've been seen with certain people who are from all parts of that world. I mean, just as an example, you've obviously shared company with Andrew Tate and other, dare I say, rather controversial figures. Why do you spend time with people like that?
Are you trying to, I see you want to make this political.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm just curious.
No, that's what you want to do. Is
no.
You know you have
not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I'm not.
You want to end it and talk about.
I'm just curious. No, not at all. I don't care about your politics. I know you're not political. You've said that repeatedly. I'm just, when you get seen with those people, obviously people make assumptions.
This is impossible. There's no such thing as I'm not political. You see, one can't exist in the world without living out politics. So that's a cop-out anytime you hear that.
I'm wondering what the thought process and motivation for you is behind.
Interview. I guess you watched the Piers interview.
I did, yeah.
Too bad I didn't have time to look into, anything about potentially, who your wife cheated with, but don't try to go down that line of questioning with me. All right. Because I'm not doing any political.
I'm not married, Clive, but I was simply only asking because obviously you've been filming with these people.
So I could teach you about LooksMaxing, and then maybe you could switch that up. But thanks for the time. Appreciate the interview.
This last part, honestly, I feel like he looks strung out. He can't really string a sentence together properly.
I could teach you about LooksMaxing, and then maybe you could switch that up. But thanks for the time. Appreciate the interview.
He looks out of breath. He looks kind of confused and dazzled. He doesn't look super with it. He looks strung out, man. So look, I think this guy's
Bro, he looks strung out. Goddamn. I pray no one ever describes me by strung out. Sounds terrible.
Type of drugs. Prayers up for Clive, man. Hopefully he pulls through this. But yeah, this is definitely looking bad. But anyway.
You know what? And you see, I hear people say stuff like that, like, oh, I'm going to pray for fill in the blank monster. Me personally, if I pray, I'm not probably not going to be praying that they survive. In as much as their net, like, I don't even think they're trying to do good. I don't think they're trying to do good for be good to good people. I mean, dude's using drugs in public, publicly hurting himself and giving this bad example to others. And in some cases, charging people money to learn how to be like him, which is not an ideal state. I mean, if that's not the most vicious, destructive concept I could ever hear of, I don't know if he's a value add.
What? Holy B.
Controversial LooksMaxing influencer Clavicular speaking out after his suspected drug overdose, which was caught on livestream this week.
When did you last take blues? You want natty? You want natty?
Holy shit, dude, I'm trying my best, but
IRL streams in Miami, chatting with fans after appearing.
Roll DX and
Wait, what's going on with my boy's lip right here? Enlarge. Chat GPT, what is that on my man's lip right there? What's on his lip, Chat GPT?
ketamine, BDO.
No, not BDO.
PHP,
It's 5 Hour Energy.
and pre-gab.
Yo, these kids are disgusting. I didn't even take that during finals week at Berkeley. And mind you, finals was critical for a guy like me because I only took the courses where it was a midterm, a big paper, and a final exam. So everything was riding on those exams. I still didn't take any of this nonsense. These are weaklings. So what I want you guys to understand is that these are the beta males. We're in an environment with animals that are trying to puff out their chests like the blow-up fish, when really these are the small, weak ones, and they're taking all these substances because they're genetically inferior, and they need this to be able to compete with the big dogs. These are the weaklings, huh? Boy, these boys is on some real dope.
Prescription ADHD medication, Adderall, mixed with cough syrup, ketamine, which is a painkiller, and another anti-seizure med that mimics the effects of alcohol.
So if you are taking prescription drugs that you don't have a prescription for and you're doing it on camera, that would be committing a crime on record, which should lead to criminal charges. So what I need to figure out is the hip hop police, they sure do want to chase down these black rappers. What about these live streamers? Because the difference with the black rappers is when they're doing this goofy stuff, it's in creative context in music or in a music video where theoretically it's performative. These guys are IRL streamers, in real life streamers. So we'd have to ask, well, why aren't they being prosecuted? It's kind of weird, right? I mean, the thing that's trippy to me is, as you guys know, I was leaving my office in Vegas Friday before Christmas. I was pulled out of my car and taken to jail while being completely sober. So I'm sober. I'm not advertising anything that I'm doing, heading home to the suburbs, and I end up in jail for fake charges. These boys are broadcasting the evidence to millions and no criminal cases? How's that work out? It's rather strange. I think we might need to hashtag lockup clavicular.
The live stream ending abruptly when Clav appears to go unconscious. Clav now sharing this photo of the aftermath, telling fans he's out of the hospital.
Bro is troubled. He's the Britney Spears of this era. He's the male Britney Spears of this era. You shouldn't be shocked if pretty soon he cuts all his hair bald. You should not be shocked. Lil Buddy is different in a bad way. It is. Shout out to Ramon. He writes, it's always bizarre when drug users in the nightlife are seen as cool, but lame to me when during the day they come off as insecure when I'm in their vicinity for any extended amount of time. Peace of the saints. My boy, I would not be in their vicinity if I could help it. Shout out to Michael. He writes, will do. Thank you, sir. Absolutely. May I also acknowledge Leon came in supporting the work. I appreciate you using PayPal. May I also acknowledge Jing C came in supporting via Venmo. Shout out to Jing C, all the saints that I have the pleasure of meeting and knowing personally. Carrying on and looking forward to seeing you at the Big Game Conference. If you guys haven't gotten your tickets for the Big Game Conference, please do know that the seating is limited because we're going to have a flag football game. That's why it's called the Big Game Conference. We teach everything you need to know about women, how to select them, how to approach them, how to manage them, how to get dominance in the relationship, how to, like, should you be legally married or not? Should you have kids? How to deal with the fallout if things go left? All of that we discuss. But remember, because we have flag football game associated with this, we don't want too many people because we don't want to have to sub in and out, to be honest with you. We don't want to have to sub in and out, so it will be limited. And please know that once the tickets are sold out, please don't ask because all sales are final. Tickets are non-transferable. So once they're sold out, they're gone. I do believe they're listed at peaceofthesaints.com.
With blood still on his face. He calls the experience brutal and says the worst part of tonight was my face descending, aka getting scratched up from the life support mask. Clav, who claims to be on the autism spectrum, adds all of the substances are just to cope trying to feel neurotypical while being in public. But he admits.
And all of this stuff, it's like, yo, look, bro. There used to be this term when I was in elementary school. People stopped using it. It started with an R. That term has fell out of vogue. I don't know if that's if that's what autism is now with that. Yeah, I don't know. But whatever your issue is, I think it probably goes back to bad parenting. I don't think you have anything chemically wrong. I think you had bad parents, most of you. And it's okay. It get like that. But all of this, like, oh, I'm neurodivergent, I'm neurotypical, I'm OCD, I'm autistic, I'm HDAD. No, you're a dweeb who had bad parents. And I really don't care about your story. We're all adults now. 18 plus as an adult, you're old enough to go into Iran and get your head blown off for Donald Trump and, that one country. You're an adult. I don't care what your excuse is. You need to get it together. And I don't want to hear about like, oh, my head's, I need to. No, I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care.
It's obviously that isn't a real solution.
And that's probably not the most autistic thing that I've done.
Clavicular, whose real name is Braden Peters, has become the biggest star of the LooksMaxing movement, which encourages young people, mostly men, to go to extreme lengths.
What do you mean mostly men? Nigga, only men. Stop being weird. Oh, goddamn. What's up with this kid? See, I wouldn't consider fixing that face LooksMaxing. I would just consider that acne cream, nigga. Go ahead, rub it down. Rub it down.
To improve their physical appearance to attract women and power.
This has been my mentality for ages.
So you started taking TRT, or testosterone, and other derivatives.
Ooh, that's not good. If I understand correctly, and I trust someone in the live chat can state what is appropriate, but my understanding with testosterone replacement is it's usually something that older men take, and you shouldn't start this early because I think it impairs your body's ability to naturally produce testosterone. So you use it when your body has stopped producing it at a significant level, and you kind of have to stay on it, is my understanding. So if you start too early while your body could produce testosterone naturally, it will impair the natural production. So you have to really stay on this drug. If anyone in the live chat knows better, please feel free to make a note of it. Carrying on.
When you said 16 or
14.
In a December interview on Bradley Martin's Raw Talk, the 20-year-old claims to smash his own face with a hammer to change his bone structure.
So I'll like lay in my bed and punch myself in the face.
He says he smokes meth to manage his
listen,
weight, and then use the stuff.
Bro, yeah, indeed. There was a word they used to call these people. It rhymes with regarded, and they did used to do that. They did used to like hit themselves. And bros over here, maybe that's what that is. This bone smashing for LooksMaxing is really an expression of his inner Riri. Maybe that's what that is. I just made a discovery. I've discovered a new form of mental. Carrying on. Shout out to Albatar. This man moves quickly. I was just teasing. I don't know if anyone would actually wear that, Albatar. I appreciate you. But he came in supporting the work using PayPal. Appreciate you. Shout out to Richmond, supporting by Venmo as well. Thank you, sir. Carrying on.
Below the belt.
So to Dick Max, all
Wait, what?
fat dissolvers.
Wait, hold on, relative. Bro over here like, yeah, man, you know about LooksMaxing. What do you know about Dick Maxing? Yeah, dude, you know, I inject, steroids, raw rage. But I also just injected in my cock. I injected in my cock. Yeah, because just think about it, dude. Just think about it. We're growing up in the era where all these girls are on these adult sites and they're watching all these BBCs. You can't naturally compete with these black guys. So you got to D-Max. I just inject before the girl comes over there. I get in the zone. I just injected in my cock vein, in the main vein. I injected in the main vein. Yeah, but the key is before it wears out, you got to hurry up and get her in bed before it wears out because it only lasts like 45 minutes. So when you meet her, you got to put a timer on. So you got to hurry up. D-Max. Yeah. Whoa, my boy. You're tripping, homie. Listen, I don't really ever go to the doctor. Only time I would go to the doctor if something was wrong with my meat. Otherwise, I ain't going. So like, I'm sensitive with the meat and the balls. Pause. I would did this nigga say inject? Oh, ain't no way. Ain't nigga, I'll be scared to put lotion on my joint. I ain't putting nothing. I'm not trying to interrupt nothing. You hear me? Like, listen, there was one time I was with this Czech girl, two girls actually, and they were both named Denisa, which is crazy. Two Czech girls named Denisa. One was short and thick. They both had some beautiful complexions. And one was tall and slim. You dig? And they was both with the shit. But anyways, let's just say we were out somewhere and I needed some lotion and all they had was sunscreen, but they had like this sunscreen that kind of like darkens you a little bit and it has like this glitter in it. So you put it on, it makes you a little darker and it like sparkles. And I'm getting out of the shower. I want to, you know, put on some lotion. All they got is this like browning, glittering sunscreen. And I'm over here like, oh, I don't know if I'll put this on my man's. Like, I don't put this on my man's. I don't know. Because I feel like the skin down there is a little more sensitive. I don't know. I say that to say this. Oh, I damn sure ain't about to inject my meat. Oh, hell nah. Oh, hell. And listen, if you are, I'm just imagining, bro, he over here hanging out with the other dude who wears the hair hat. That was crazy. He hanging out with old boy with the hair hat. They're in their room at home together. You know, man, I injected 20 cc's. I don't know if it's too much. Hey, man, look at this. What do you think? Is that good? Should I inject it more? Is that too much? Yeah, it looks really veiny. Yeah. Well, I'm squeezing it right now, but I'm going to let go. I'm kind of squeezing it because you're looking at me, but I'm going to let go. What do you think? Should I inject it again? Other guy's like, I don't know, dude. I'm injecting mine, dude. He's like, well, is there a girl coming over, man? He's like, no, but you're here and I'm here, so why not? I'm injecting D-maxing. Yo, what's wrong with these boys? This is sickness, man. And here's the crazy thing. Some things you got to keep to yourself. We're in an era where people don't know how to keep things to themselves. I mean, I've never had a conversation about my meat with another human. Never. Not my father, not my uncle, not even a doctor. I've never had a reason. I've never had any concerns with my meat that I needed to have a conversation about it. I have heard conversations about my meat. I remember there was this one girl I used to stroke out back in the day. I used to stroke her out. And then I had another little side piece. I was stroking her out. Then the main piece met the side piece. They act like they was mad at me, but then they became friends. And they would have conversations about how I stroke them out and how that good tastes. You hear me? They're like, oh, yeah, it tastes so good. They have conversations about it. You dig? But I never had a conversation about my own meat. That's mad weird. That's very weird.
Into my mom's pubis. Yeah, that was probably my most like over the line. Like,
what is your opinion of women?
There is something going on that's horribly wrong with society. It's female hypergamy.
Imagine saying there's something horribly wrong with society when you're the problem. Beta males, you're the problem. Real men are not overly concerned with how they look. They're not. I've had many people, well, not many people, only really one that I know personally. The homie I grew up with, he said, hey, bro, why don't you get your joint done, bro? Like, you got the bread. You could have your whole hairline back, Rail. I was like, nah, my boy. He was like, Rail. He's like, if I had your bread, Rail, my joint would be crispy. Like, I was 16. You heard me? I was like, nah, my boy. Absolutely not. That's not necessary. Because when I asked myself, like, what could I get with a hairline that I can't get now? Nothing. It would only be make myself feel better because I have low self-esteem, but I don't have low self-esteem. So you hear me? I'm the bald head lover. You dig? We gonna rock like this.
The possible OD comes hours after Clav was seen walking out of an interview with 60 Minutes Australia after he was asked about his association with another problematic manosphere figure, Andrew Tate, who's facing criminal charges abroad, including rape and human trafficking.
Damn.
Why, dude?
Damn. All of these people are thugs and criminals. Lock them up. All these thugs.
Do you spend time with people like that?
Are you trying to, I see you want to make this political. Too bad I didn't have time to look into, anything about potentially, who's.
Yeah, he seems like he's having some mental difficulties. Like he's processing a little bit slowly.
who your wife cheated with.
I'm not married.
I could teach you about LooksMaxing then. Maybe you could switch that up. But thanks for the time. Appreciate the interview. All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay. All right, folks. So this is what I got for you. I got a whole treasure trove here. Let's check out what he said after the OD situation. And then I have a whole treasure trove of the weird stuff he said or done, if you guys want to go through it. I trust it'll be quite entertaining and edifying.
Social media influencer known for LooksMaxing is back in the spotlight.
The irony, though, of being known for looksmaxing, but ending up on drugs and then messing up your face and looking uglier than you did before. That's hell of a trick. Hell of a trick. Quite a trick. Quite a trick indeed.
Clavicular had an apparent overdose here in South Florida. And those
An apparent
disturbing moments
overdose.
unfolding live on camera before the stream suddenly cuts off. Local 10's Aaron Maben is live now in Miami Beach with what we're learning today. Aaron.
Well, Calvin, after that suspected reported overdose, Clavicular did...
Damn, this nigga on drugs too. And they were like, bro, what the hell? Look at this ball. He on drugs too.
Aaron Maben is live now in Miami Beach with what we're learning today. Aaron.
Well, Calvin, after that suspected reported overdose, Clavicular did take to social media earlier this morning, not sharing a ton, but he did hours before he's set to make an appearance at this brand new club here on Miami Beach for stream.
Now, what I'm tripping on is how is it that you have clearly committed a crime? If nothing else, you've been a disturbance to the public peace, but certainly you've committed a crime. And now the authorities are going to ignore it, and you're about to go get Liddy and probably run back the whole thing, right? Because who's going, like, what kind of dope fiend is going to the club sober, right?
Just like himself. Suspected overdose in Miami Tuesday night. The 20-year-old writing on X just got home. That was brutal. All of the substances that Life Tuesday Peters did not share many more details about his hospital stay. The controversial, sometimes going to extremes in hopes of making themselves as attractive as possible, claim to use crystal meth to try to stay skinny. But TMZ reports he's determined to show up.
See, the thing that's trippy to me is like at age 20, you got to use crystal meth to stay skinny. What kind of genes do you have? What kind of genetics do you have to where you're just gaining weight like that? And that's why you find that Marquettism is for the kids. Marquettism saves lives. What do I tell you guys? Exercise is prayer. Sweat is the holy water. 30 minutes of sweat every day. You maintain that level of discipline, you won't need crystal meth. Good Lord.
At Miami Beach's first streaming nightclub, Baccarat Club, where tables are reportedly selling for thousands of dollars. This space encourages influencers to live stream, solving issues where streamers are being banned from conventional venues. The streamer has had his share of controversies in South Florida, including a stunt with a Cybertruck, an arrest for misdemeanor battery in recent weeks, and an investigation into Peters allegedly shooting an alligator in the Everglades. Back out here live, a lot of restaurants in Miami, Miami Beach, they've really cracked down on these live streams and Clavicular.
Yeah, buddy's tripping. Anyways, we got a treasure trove right here of odd things the fella has said or done. If you want to get into it, I'm happy to take you all through so that we may learn and also shield the youth from this extraordinarily destructively bad advice that these kinds of characters are giving. So if you want to go through, I'd be happy to do so. Shout out to Melvin supporting the work. He writes, tuition pieces answer, you're 100% right about TRT. It shuts down the ability for your body to produce testosterone due to the excessive inorganic testosterone. There you go. I thought that was about right. And it's just sad that he's teaching kids to use this and he's destroying their bodies today and for all time. That's how dangerous these kind of characters are. But what we must note is that the nature of humankind is to lie, to deceive, to cheat, and to take a shortcut. And in their effort to take a shortcut, the irony is that the shortcut is often the long way. And what I mean by that paradox is that You want to take the shortcut to looking strong, but that's really the long way because you're actually going to remain weak. You want to make the muscles look big and strong, but you have physical weakness. And then when you get tested, you're going to fall apart quite quickly, and it will be embarrassing. So what can you do? But the reason that a clav can be popular is the same reason that the concept of crypto or NFTs is popular. And that was because it's a shortcut. It's a get rich quick scheme. It's a get fit quick scheme instead of doing the hard work every single day. That's why you never heard me one time promote NFTs or cryptocurrency. I always spoke against it. But what I did always promote is product-based business, which may give you some challenges, but once you get it right, it will support you for a lifetime. Like, for example, this is a running pack that has a built-in holster to it, which I use. I had to tie the clamps on the back because the pack is a little too loose and it still bounces when you run. But I think the chest holster is the best holster to get the ooh-wop out. And so this needs to be redesigned. This is a potential product. If someone could design something in a superior way, they'd probably be able to make a good amount of money. And that's why I promote product-based business, because, you know, tangible goods that people are going to need will always be in demand. You know, NFTs used to be wildly popular. Now no one speaks about them, you see? So, you know, real knowledge and real business savvy is always going to win out over fads and trends, because that holster, you can sell it now till the day you die. In America, the country's always going to be strapped and they're always going to need a place to put the clapper. Whereas NFTs, no one's talking about it now, but you know, years ago it was a major fad.
You get a girl, you bring her home. How do you get away with, like, because you're gonna drop in height.
Right. So what you could either do is you can wait until you're in the.
Okay. So in case you guys are like, yo, what is Brody talking about? So basically, the LooksMaxing is very female-like behavior, not only because you're overly concerned with the externality, but more importantly, because you're using phony things. And this is comparable to the woman using the makeup, the fake eyelashes, fake hair, injected lips, the breast implants, all of these deceptive matters. So now Clavicular is having the conversation about height maxing, which you're not maxing your height, you're just a man on high heels, essentially. And so the gentleman interviewing him, and it's really a pity that people engage this stupidity when really they should, like, this guy should be marginalized for just being a weirdo. He says, instead of saying, hey, you're weird, I'm not going to interview you, he says, oh yeah, come on down, I'll interview you because it makes money. But let me ask you a dumb question about a dumb concept. And then he says, well, what do you do if you're out in the world, you're wearing your high heels, Clavicular, and you meet a young lady and she thinks that you're 6 foot, and then you get back to your home and you're about to hit the skizins and you have to take off your shoes, which have your lifts in them that give you that 3 inches of height. Then what do you do? Because now you're going to be like seeing eye to eye with shorty. So now what? And then bro start finessing again. Good Lord.
You're in the bed to kick your shoes off, and that way she won't be able to perceive the height because you're laying down.
And what you have to understand is someone who's a looks maxer is fundamentally a liar, just like a female. That's why I always say women are not quite honest. That's why they wear the makeup. They wear all of these things to dissimulate. And in his case, he said something that was both just deceptive and also filthy. He said, to avoid the woman seeing you without your high heels on, don't take off your shoes until you're about to get in bed. Now, for those of you who are clean or follow sass and culture, when we arrive at someone's home, unless they tell us otherwise, we take off our shoes at the door, leave our shoes by the door. And this is practiced in much of the Asian world. Some Black Americans practice this. Perhaps some Arabs practice this as well. But it's quite filthy to walk around in your home with shoes that were from outside. And then the worst part, especially if you have carpet, you walk into your bedroom and you're wearing your shoes right next to your bed. I mean, it just makes the skin crawl. But these are the efforts that he goes to impress a stranger, a female you don't even know, who probably is promiscuous, because if she's sleeping with you so soon that she doesn't even know your real height, she's promiscuous. So imagine you're taking all of this effort to impress a harlot. But here's the worst part. What happens when you get found out? What happens when she finds out that you're just 5'8"? You don't think that's going to be a problem? Why set yourself up for embarrassment and failure? Huh? Shout out to Demoy, right? Supporting the work. Keep it going. I appreciate you. Shout out to Demoy. Looking forward to seeing you soon. I also acknowledge Kaylin writes, support the work, came in via Venmo. May I also acknowledge Jethro came in via PayPal. He writes, let's continue the work and do a crazy breakdown. It's truth, Devon. I appreciate you. Shout out to Davion, writes, peace of the saints, tuition. I appreciate all of you here with me. Shout out to Brad. He writes, I appreciate the work, Mr. Burton. I appreciate the support. Thank you, sir. Let's get after it. Back to the lies. Back to the lies.
On your horizontal, but if you are forced to take off your shoes for whatever reason, you can sag your pants down so that they conceal your heels, and you can tiptoe max.
Let's say you hype max, you get a girl, you bring her home.
Nah, bro. Nah, homie. This man just said, he said you can sag your pants down so that she can't see your heels, and then you can tiptoe max. Woo! You can tiptoe max. Can you imagine how utterly foolish you will look? Because most of you niggas are wearing skinny jeans anyways. So you're wearing skinny jeans and you're walking around on your tiptoes. You don't think she's going to notice anything weird? Niggas' calves is going to be shot and exhausted. Boy, if you... And the planet Earth is completely brainless, because to listen to someone say this without busting up laughing is madness. Like, do you know how pressed these boys are to get a female to even be having this conversation? The conversation itself is ludicrous. I'm just curious as to see what the dweebs are saying. How do I find the comments? Okay, here we go. This person writes, tiptoe max, my nigga. Tiptoe max question. Okay, so I guess they think it's funny. Now here's a female. I don't know who this is. Okay, she's everyday person, it looks like. She writes, imagining a grown man with sagging pants tiptoeing is absolutely hilarious. Agree. And you just look completely foolish. And the idea that this is a recommendation, I mean, that's sad. That's truly sad. Hold on 1 second. Lost my list. There we go. That's so very sad.
What'd you say to me?
You fucking, our friend got dropped at your fucking table.
No, what the fuck did you say?
What I said?
What the fuck did you say?
What I said?
You say Clav dropped girls? Are you fucking retarded? You said that?
You fucking dropped our friend at our table.
Are you fucking retarded?
Oh, so Clavicular keeps repeating the same vulgarity. And again, he only has 8 words in his vocabulary. And the white gentleman is confronting him, saying, you roofied a young lady that I was with. And he seems pretty adamant and serious. And I think it's quite a bizarre accusation. So in as much as that's the case, I tend to believe him. Clavicular definitely strikes me as a fairly sleazy character. There's no doubt that he's dishonest because everything about his work is to deceive. So him being more than willing to take illicit pharmaceuticals, I trust that he probably has access to a whole treasure trove of degenerate candies, if you will. And so I think it makes perfect sense that he would give one of these to a female to get the advantage, because everything that he does is about seeking the unearned advantage. So I 100% believe this this calm young white gentleman who is saying this.
Sorry, the den a couple weeks ago.
The den?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I've never had a table in my life at the den.
Yeah, you have, bro. You're fucking there.
He's like, bro, yeah, you have. And I believe him. He seems completely calm. He doesn't seem like he's not wearing any chains. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's seeking attention or clout. He seems like he's confronting someone who's a dirtbag.
Motherfucker, I've been at other people's tables. I've never had a table in my life.
It was a fucking friend's table.
Oh, now it changes from I've never been there, or excuse me, I never had a table, to I've been at other people's tables. So I think we see him unraveling quite quickly.
What'd you say to me?
You fucking, our friend got dropped at your fucking table.
No, what the fuck did you say?
Let's see what the folks are saying about this one. Writes, Clav is jealous of his jaw and chin. Womp, womp, womp. None of them can fight. Clap is going to get clocked one of these days. Well, I mean, he has a security with him, so I'm sure that helps him out a bit. Yes. Okay, let's go on to the next piece.
Right, so limb lengthening surgery is definitely like extraordinary means, but if you're someone who's below average height, you really have to realize that like there is data to suggest that it is like almost like worth it to get these surgeries because
I would disagree. So with the surgery, these people oftentimes have severe trouble walking again.
Yeah, so there's risk factor to any surgery, but like
now the idea that putting not only your health broadly, but specifically your ability to walk at risk is a bad idea. Walking is quite fundamental. And the concept of limb lengthening, I actually heard a testimony, and this particular character was actually a Black person, and he got the limb lengthening surgery. And the funny thing is they interviewed him after he was fully rehabbed, and he stated that he was surprised that his life experience in general, and specifically with females, hadn't had any remarkable change based on being taller. And, you know, at some level, you almost feel sorry for these guys, right? Because, you know, the grass is always greener on the other side. And that's why I teach you to be an operator. At my conference, the Big Game Conference, where we talk about how to select women, how to approach them, how to vet them, how to get the upper hand in the relationship. What I'm really fundamentally coaching you on and giving you practical strategies is mindset, how to be a real operator, how to get things done, how to pull off things that no one else can pull off. You see, because when you're watching from the outside, you might see some guys, and this is what you guys don't understand, especially about women. Women are very unpredictable, fickle characters. And in as much as that is the case, a woman will give a guy her number. A guy could be tall. So you're out in the public, you see some tall, good looking, buff guy. He approaches a girl, gets her number, and then she won't follow up. You know, he hits her up. She'll talk and never go out on a first date. She'll never meet up. And even though you might not have the confidence to approach that same girl, you're essentially getting the same outcomes as that guy who looks ideal. Even if you did approach her, you might still get the same outcomes. And you might say, Marquett, well, how could that be? Like, that guy's the ultimate man. Well, yeah, be that as it may, you're still dealing with a creature that is ultimately insecure and overthinks and so on. And with that being the case, the human female, there have been times that you can get discounted from a female because you're too good looking. I kid you not. I remember there was one young lady I was dealing with. I forget what ethnicity she was, maybe like Pakistani or Desi Indian or something like this. One of these kind of people, good looking young lady. She's from the San Francisco Bay Area. And she told me, this is in my early 20s, she said, you know, I don't really want to date pretty boys like you because you guys cheat. And I'd rather have an average guy that I don't have to worry about this because I'm too jealous. I can't handle it. And there is also scientific research that indicates that even when two people are walking by each other and a woman's finding a guy attractive, when they engage each other, she can't even rightly perceive if he's interested in her. So there's so much thought, especially in the female mind, which is very interconnected, that is going to cause breakdowns. And so when I tell you that the ism is the key, is the quality of the game that you're spitting, is how you're able to maneuver and make things happen, I would choose that any day over being 3 inches taller. If I wanted to be 3 inches taller, it wouldn't be to get abroad. It would be to beat the snot out of people more effectively. That would be it. And that would just be for my own personal entertainment and sick pleasure. That all. Carrying on.
But like when you look at
there hasn't been successful, consistent limb lengthening surgery.
Well, that's just not it. That's just not correct.
Wait, show me like long-term data on limb lengthening surgery and people walking in and getting back to doing basic stuff like being able to jog.
So sure, there are certain clinics, that don't do a good job, that there is significant risk factor. But like if we're talking about like Dr. Paley Institute, the success rate for all these surgeries is there. And
I guess I would agree with it. With success rate, with like they get the surgery done, they don't have any health complications where they're going to pass away, and they might walk a little funny, but they're taller.
Right.
If that's what you're finding a success, I guess we agree there. But
so limb lengthening surgery is definitely like extraordinary.
And you know, the truth is there's some things that you can't speak to. And me, I wouldn't try. The limb lengthening surgery, you can't speak to the long-term health consequences. It's just not possible. The data's not out. It hasn't been around. and widely adopted enough for you to have a proper data set. Number two, I wouldn't speak to it in as much as I'm above average height, and the actual ROI on that, I can't confirm, right? And the pain that you go through, I would never sign someone up for something like that I myself wouldn't do. And you might say, Marquett, you're above average height, so why would you consider doing it? No, even if I wasn't, just like, for example, I could get hair surgery like Myron or BBMLD, but I'm not going to do it because it's just not necessary. I don't think that is going to be a major value add. And when you actually look at what it is, the fact that they have to, in some cases, I think they cut your scalp and move a part of it. In other cases, you just get all of these punctures and it can be infected, takes a long time to heal. It's just a bunch of unnecessary stuff that is not going to heal the fundamental gap. And it's a gap in confidence. It's a gap in self-respect and self-belief. We're not all going to look the same. We're not all going to age the same. So that is what we have to accept. And that's one of the beautiful things about the ism. With our cultural revolution, we will teach children, young people, that life has a trajectory and you will go through developmental stages. And at this stage, you should probably have this priority. This is what your mindset should be. This is what your physicality is likely to be. This is an ideal. This is what happens as the human body degrades over time due to the natural aging process. Aging is a beautiful thing that can happen well when your life is well lived and you have family around you. That way, women won't feel the need to hide fine lines and wrinkles. They know that this is a part of the aging process. And if women are not promiscuous and they secure a mate between age 18 to 14, it doesn't matter how you're aging because your man actually loves you and he's going to hold on to you regardless. And we're in a sick society that overly prizes youth and aesthetic. And frankly, we don't even prize the right kind of aesthetic. So many things backward in this society. But anyways, I appreciate the interviewer.
Right, so
he seemed fairly informed and he was willing to reasonably engage in contention. And I think that's of great value to the audience. Let's see what the folks were saying in the comments. This individual is the original poster. This person writes, I'm 5'7" and all about, me enlarged, so I want you guys to be able to read it as well. I'm 5'7" and it's all about confidence. LMAO, I don't think that was necessary. Social media is such a facade. That's correct. Do women have preferences? Absolutely. Have I been with women taller than me? Yes. Everyone, me too. Everyone is different, and using height as a cope is honestly embarrassing. This was terribly written, and these are the kind of things that make me question white privilege. I'm like, God damn, if there is white privilege, shouldn't they have good schools? But we could all use better English. But this was overall aimed in the right direction. I like where he was going with this. This appears to be a woman. And she writes, this is just another industry profiting off of people's body dysmorphia. I don't think it's body dysmorphia. I think that's a little bit deeper than what it actually is. There's nothing wrong with how God created you, sweetie. That's one way to put it. This dude is a massive L. Zero alignment with your ideals. I'm only 6'2". Sacrificing my ability to jog is a small price to pay to be 6'6". This guy is a nut, yo. These are not men. These are beta males. And I want you guys to understand that the beta male is not the one who, let me define the opposite or what people falsely believe. People think you're an alpha male if you're tall. You're an alpha male if you're rich. You're an alpha male if fill in the blank. Now, that's all cartoon stuff. You're an alpha male because of a number of characteristics, but some core characteristics are confidence and dominance. Confidence and dominance, real confidence and real dominance. A lot of this other stuff it's all show, the super tall guys, that doesn't make them an alpha male. If you show up to a lot of these super tall guys and you say, hey buddy, I have 2 pairs of boxing gloves. Why don't you put these on? Let's shoot this fade real quick. They're not going to want to shoot it. They're not alpha males. They're just tall. They're just big. Then you go to the rich guys. They're getting finessed for their money by a broad that's half their age. Thought you were smart. Not that smart. Even Napoleon Bonaparte, Emperor of France, was getting finessed by his old lady while she was out cheating while he was on campaign. So people think the guy who has all the power is the alpha male. He might have formal power, might have position and title, but not the case. Not the case. Carrying on.
This is like the Bohemian Grove of LooksMaxing, this room essentially. Every fucking like pussy teenager is taking TRT these days, but this
very vulgar, this guy. And these are low-class people. I want everyone to know. These are very low-class people. Michael, if you're watching, I see that you had elevated a support ticket for the running belt. And I wanted to respond to you on that one. That is a product that is made by, by St. Key. And I do want to connect you with him to get the actual information. It was wrongly listed on the new site at $1, like literally it's listed at $1. And so as we were transferring products from the old site, which is the assassin.com, that one did not get transferred and have the price move over correctly. So obviously nothing costs $1. Even you couldn't even ship it for merely $1. So in as much as that is the case, I'm going to drop the link to the real product information in the chat. If you would like me to refund your $1, I can certainly do so. Please just let me know. Just send an email and we'll make sure we get that refunded to you. But here is the link at theassassin.com. If you scroll down, you click the running belt. This is one of the many products that people just like you produce, the members. They're producing this. The money goes to them, doesn't go to me. St. Key is a great gentleman. He's an executive in Atlanta, makes a phenomenal collection of products, including boxing shoes and the brown backpack briefcase. I actually have one right here. But yeah, this is the real link and you'll pay the money, in this case, directly to him, but we'll get the listing updated. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Carrying on.
This shit is kind of just like the gate kid stuff. First is going to be something called a waterline pen. Take the pen, like so. We're just gonna apply a very light layer, minimal application. Next step is going to be to whiten the sclera, the whites of your eyes, to increase the contrast.
So you're putting it right in there.
So that's
isn't this a little gay?
If you actually mod.
See, there you go. It's not a little bit Skittle guzzling. You're eating the whole pack. You didn't eat 2 or 3 Skittles. You've devoured the pack. You've left no crumbs, no evidence. It's completely weird and bizarre. I appreciate the fella asking him. Let's see what the response is.
You know, who's gonna come up to you and say, "Oh, that's gay"? It's like, dude, I mog you to fucking death. So,
and this is so. I'm not entirely clear on what this mogging concept is. It sounds like some internet nerd stuff, but the fact of the matter is, you're trying to be prettier than other males. Males are not measured on a scale of pretty. Males are measured on a scale of charm, on a scale of confidence, on a scale of masculinity, on a scale of size, on a scale of wealth. Never really is it a meaningful measure on a scale of attractiveness. And some of you ugly rascals might be like, "Quack, come on." No, really. You know, social status, your position within the friend group, or do you even belong to a meaningful group? These things all are significant weights. And if you bless with a little bit of ism and mouthpiece, you can really maneuver. You know, you have to be at a significant level of ugly for that to actually take you out of the game. So I promise you this, if you're in good physical shape and you got a good mouthpiece, most of them, you can finesse them and undress them. So what this guy is trying to do is be prettier than the broad. That has nothing to do with the external world, only the internal insufficiency he feels. Gentleman writes, "Mog more attractive than me." More attractive than me. So in a sentence, it would look like this. You're talking real big, but about someone who's more mog than you. Oh, okay. That's pretty zesty. That's pretty zesty, my friends. Yes, indeed. But listen, this is the LGBTQ era.
Like I literally fucking mog you to oblivion. But if you actually mog, like no one's gonna actually even question you. Because first of all, you're never gonna get caught. And even if you're like me, you put it all over the internet.
Wait, now that's crazy. He said you're never going to get caught. I do believe that is the language of someone who is doing something that is shameful. You're never going to get caught. Wow.
If some little fucking piece of shit in the comment section wants to...
And again, the vulgarity, the inarticulation. So The small number of, let me say this, the women that would find someone like this appealing are only the low quality, low class women. It is never a woman that's of any substance or of any worth, because number one, you might have these high testosterone dysfunctional females that at some level try to compete with a male, but never, ever, ever does a female want you competing with her. So you'll never find a situation whereby a chick wants you spending more time getting dressed than she does. Doesn't happen. That's a major turnoff for a female.
Want to say something about it? Okay. It's like, dude, like look at me and then look at you. This is like the Bohemian Grove of LooksMaxing, this room essentially. Every fucking like pussy teenager is taking TRT these days, but this shit is kind of just like the gay kid stuff. First is going to be something called a waterline pen. Take the pen, like so. We're just gonna apply a very light layer.
Wow, did bro just put on eyeliner? Is he actually putting on makeup? Did this ball just put on eyeliner in front of everybody? Whew, whew, this boy's putting on actual makeup. Wowzer.
You do meth?
Yeah, I haven't done meth in 2 weeks, but I do math, yeah.
Why do you do meth?
Math
that's a legitimate
is
question.
very similar in terms of its makeup to something like Adderall, but it's got a little bit better psychoactive benefits.
So, yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out like how many N-words could get away with being very public about doing meth, not lose all of their social credibility, and then not be up for a case. I mean, anybody who says white privilege is not real, I feel like this has to be an example of it. And then little buddy goes to the hospital for a overdose and then just walks out with no charges, no cases. So I don't know, man. I don't know if that seems quite right. In the United States of Marquett, I think you need to go to jail. I think you need to go to the pokey for that one.
And the reason I also like it to be longer acting for a LooksMaxing context is stimulants cause appetite suppressants.
But you're a big guy. In other words, don't you need a lot of...
So he's talking about appetite suppressants. So right now, as he goes through this conversation, do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of white girls in Orange County who have eating disorders. And so we're essentially dealing with an extraordinarily fragile individual who has an eating disorder. And instead of us rightly identifying the eating disorder because he's put scientific language around it and because he's pretended as though there's some kind of movement associated with low self-esteem, they're accepting it rather than saying, hey, man, you need help. And that's increasingly the case, that in our society, we are placating those who are sick. And I'm talking about sickness of the mental variety. This is what happens with the Skittle guzzlers. This is what happens with the feminists. And instead of saying, no, we don't accept your behavior, and if you're willing, we'll treat you, we pretend as though that which is quintessentially abnormal is normal. And as a result, we suffer more of the same instead of finding a solution. And this hurts everyone.
A lot of calories to...
Well, no, I'm trying to maintain my leanness, because the leaner you are, the more angular your face.
There are downsides to... You do...
Yeah, that was wild. And you know, the funny thing is, for your era, folks, for your era, you know, meth is your crack. You know, meth is crack to your era. From my parents' era, that was when the Central Intelligence Agency brought it in to destroy the black community, and they were successful at that. But meth is crack, and what I mean by that is, you know, by the time my generation came up, you would look at people, call them a crackhead, and that would be a great insult and an embarrassment. Whereas our society is becoming so degenerate that we have actual crackheads or meth heads, if you like, and instead of disparage them and marginalize them, we platform them, praise them, and profit them. Alliteration, by the way. It's very unfortunate. You know, a shout out to Lil Buddy for giving it a try. You know, I'm not one who negatively judges anyone for dancing. I think dancing is a natural, spiritual, human process, especially when it's not over-sexualized. I think it can be a beautiful thing. It doesn't have to be a performance. You don't have to be good at it. It's just a matter of self-expression. So this person is for sure hating. They put all the girls got turned off when they saw how clavicular dances. I'm going to rewind that to really peep it, but I don't think that that's a meaningful thing. Yeah, I think this is an odd, I don't know what's going on. They don't look like they're in a club or anything. I don't know precisely what's happening, but I don't see anything really bad going on. I'm going to mute this so that we don't end up getting copyright strikes for it. Yeah, I mean, his dancing is for sure awkward. And again, with the training center that we're fundraising for right now, the training center is going to have this as a part of the curriculum, individual and formal partner dance, because it's important as a part of development, especially as a male, that you know how to lead a partner dance, understanding the physical interplay and the physicality of leading someone. It reinforces the psychology of it and the comfort in the leadership position, in a position where they may be expectation and difficulty. So, all of our young boys will be masters of hand-to-hand combat. They will be masters of dance. They will be masters of language. They will be masters of AI and mathematics. Our boys and our girls, in fact. Oh yeah, I want to see what people are saying in the comments just out of curiosity. Personally, this ish peed me off. Why the F is he moving like that? I think this comment, this is just real hater stuff right here. And you guys know I don't condone anything that the fellow says or does really, but this is just hater stuff. The kid's trying to have a good time, just trying to show up, and I don't know why there's that kind of hate. Someone writes, appears to be potentially a female profile. Writes, I know he rehearsed this, I just can't prove it. I 100% agree with her. I think he probably did rehearse it based on the kind of contrived character that he is.
When you could go Chad Ultra. Gonial angle implants, chin implants, they're all prefabricated. You can definitely put them in and get the contour you wanted. But the Chad Ultra, you can do a custom implant and pop it in. And the wording is chin implant, of course, is for the front third. And gonial, I mean G-O-N-I-A-L. Gonial angle is the side implants or angle implants. So a custom jaw implant addresses 1, 2, 3, all three components, as well as gives me a little bit of help here in the contouring so I can connect them and give the contour to get that proper development from angle to chin. And that is what a custom implant can do. Why would you go Chad Light when you could go Chad Ultra?
Now, here's a sad thing about this is that you think a lot of this stuff is just goofy kids trying to be attractive to women, and a part of it is, but really there's an entire evil industry that is profiting off of the low self-esteem of human beings who are, still on their development journey. And, that really saddens me to see people trying to make money from someone suffering. And what's even more diabolical is that this image of this fellow right here, that's not a real human being. So you're trying to look like an anime character. That's not a real person in actual fact. That's an enhanced image. And then here's the kicker. This is the part that these guys forget. And this is how you know that human society is devolving and it's becoming more Skittle Guzzler friendly in a bad way, because is this what women like? That jawline? I think that jawline is quite extreme. It looks like something you'd see on Johnny Bravo or on a cartoon. It's probably not something that would even look attractive in real life. And even if it was attractive to you, dweeb, you guys are half Skittle Guzzlers, Is it attractive to a heterosexual woman? Like, that's supposed to be your chief question, right? Because you're not trying to attract other dudes who like to watch, superhero cartoons. You're theoretically trying to attract a female. And that's how lost we are in the society. We forget the purpose of being appealing. May I acknowledge, shout out to Melvin supporting the work. He writes, tuition, peace, the saints, love, and respect. Shout out to Jethro. He writes, I've noticed a lot of guys on the internet talk about studies, but don't understand how to analyze a paper. Of course not. There are very few of them are actually educated. If it's a valid study or replicable, all studies are not valid. That's a fact. The issue people use studies to create agendas. That is why I read all the studies myself. Oh yeah, 100%. People even produce white papers, and a lot of white papers are produced by corporations. In fact, I produced a white paper when I was running a technology that was for effortless attendance. And it was a legitimate white paper that pulled from legitimate academic sources. But it's something that we used as a part of our sales process to document and prove academically or scientifically, if you like, that attendance is the earliest indicator of a student potentially dropping out or underperforming in their course. And so we put out this white paper, which essentially was a collection of research. And this is not anything that's new. Corporations have been doing it for a long time. The only challenge is that so often they tell lies when it's beneficial. In our case, we built the technology behind the research, not the other way around. Carrying on. And thank you for that point. And that's one of the privileges of having an educated, informed audience.
Wait, is it true you do math? Somebody told me you do math too.
I do math, yes. So I do math to basically suppress my appetite and try to get leaner.
My guy. Instead of joining everybody else on a cut, a calorie deficit, you've resorted to that Walter White, the Jesse Pinkman, the blue, the biggest case of cope with the
Yeah, I agree. And the weirder thing, let me see if we can play this to get back to the beginning without hearing that music. But if you look at Clavicular's face, skin, and complexion at the beginning, it looks quite sickly. And so probably in the other images, Clavicular is wearing makeup. You see, this may be an actual look at his true skin color. So as you can see here, Clavicular's skin color and complexion is quite bad. In fact, his face is not symmetrical. You could see that his two eyebrows, which have no arch at all, no natural arch, they look very bland. And that's probably because he's maybe gotten Botox on the forehead, which has completely relaxed it and removed all potential arch from his brows. But they do operate on a slope, with the right side being the higher side, moving downward to the left. And you can see his complexion is completely uneven. His posture could use a bit of improving, and his eyes look fairly dead and lifeless. Not someone that I would want to take any LooksMaxing advice from. So yeah, and of course, and also the part about he does
a textbook sociopath who, as soon as the cameras turn off, from what I've heard, is just like a robot.
I would disagree. Yeah, we've spent a lot of time with him. No cameras, no nothing. He loves what he does.
Yeah, he'll crack jokes.
He's funny.
We went to go film with him, and then afterwards, he's like, "Hey, we're gonna play soccer." And it's got this big lot, and he has these soccer goals set up, and he invites all of his friends over, and he's got a little shed with a bunch of cleats, and he lets us wear his cleats and borrow some of his clothes. He was about having fun and just being positive.
There's a lot of stuff he's done for us that 100% he didn't even need to do.
Mr. Beast is a textbook sociopath who, as soon as
So now this is what you call projection, ladies and saints. He's attacking Mr. Beast, and apparently maybe Mr. Beast has some dirt on him. But what's for certain is that it appears that Clavicular has not met Mr. Beast. And then you have those who have met him and spent time with him saying, well, what you're saying is completely inaccurate. And then Clavicular has no evidence or rebuttal to that. And so this was just him tearing someone down, but in the most ironic fashion, because he's calling someone else a sociopath, when there's no doubt that not only does he potentially have mental issues himself, self-identified, he for sure probably is what you would think of as a sociopath, especially considering the level of risk that he embraces for vanity. And vanity to what outcome? It's unknown. Carrying on. I mean, that was just blatant hate.
As the cameras turn off from what?
That was sad to see.
So when you come home, right, and you have to take off your shoes, what you do is you have to set up what's called vantage points. So you would take, so you put a vantage point like here, so that way you take off the shoes, and then you go, you like rest on it, and then you set up the next vantage point like right over here, and then you just make it to the bedroom. That way you're good. So that's.
Are you trolling on the vantage point? Or
no, I'm being dead serious. A buddy, I learned that from a buddy. So when you come home,
and you know, it's sad, because it's like, word, you're doing all of this just to have intercourse? I promise you it's easier than that. I promise you it's easier than that. Speaking from experience here, it's like, come on, man.
There's a bathroom across the mats. Everyone has to take their shoes off. 100%.
Yeah, so.
Damn, height soles. Should I wear height soles?
I don't wear height soles. But...
Bro, I feel like I do like the opposite, and sometimes I notice because I go barefoot a lot, and I'm like, bro, I'm short. I probably should like wear some
It's not the worst idea.
I'm not trying to impress chicks though, so it's kind of different.
Well, once you get married, it's what it is.
There's a bathroom across the mats. Everyone has to take their shoes off. 100%.
Yeah,
So here he is trying to do something in the real world with a normal guy and then gets embarrassed. That freeze frame is madness. The guy looking down like, word, my boy. Okay, I accidentally clicked off. Let's get back after it. Bro is too cute. Obviously he needs to work on that jab, but that's fine. Is he wearing a cute little baseball cap while he's doing this?
Yeah, this bag is so heavy it doesn't move.
Now here's the thing. He said the bag is so heavy that it doesn't move. That was girl logic. That's how females speak and think. You're blaming the heavy bag. Well, you called the heavy bag heavy, which that makes perfect sense as advertised. It is in fact heavy. So the reason that it's not moving, my dear boy, is not because it's heavy. It's not moving because you didn't move it. You know, you're supposed to put some leather on it. You're not hitting hard. In other words, you're weak. You've successfully LooksMaxed. You look strong, but you are in fact not strong. And beyond not being strong, you're also not skilled in things that are fairly critical as a man, like combat. And this again is why these men are no example and they're no teacher, because you end up in quite a bad position following this nonsense.